That is the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. This is going to grind on your bone. It cannot be done. It will never heal, ever. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing another part to the why in the world would you get this piercing reaction videos. I am having a look at a bunch of videos that I found on TikTok and they're just the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. So let's do that, shall we? Update on finger piercing.
So right now, there's really not much to update, honestly. It'll fully heal in around 6 months or something.
It won't. It won't.
But to prevent any kind of infection, I have to keep on applying polyfats. And I have to be really careful when I'm, like putting a shirt on or whatever. One more thing, you're supposed to keep on moving the stick around, otherwise it'll get stuck. But also don't touch it too much, otherwise it'll get infected again and we don't want that.
Oh no, absolutely not. Everything this person has said is wrong, and this shows that wherever it was pierced, they should not be performing piercings full stop. To begin with, telling someone to move their jewelry around is incorrect always for every piercing. Nuh-uh, you don't do that. Let alone telling someone that their finger piercing is going to be healed in 6 months. Your finger piercing won't heal. And things like you need to be careful when you're like putting your clothes on and off. You need to be careful with everything. If you have a finger piercing, that is like one of the most used parts of your body. Putting your clothes on, potentially ripping it, pulling it, causing irritation to it. You're also going to be using your hands for things like washing up, washing your hands all the time, like constant touching and irritation and constant like bacteria getting into that shit. So don't be trying to tell people that it'll come around, like it'll be 6 months. It looks so completely fucked right now, but that's normal. They all look like that because they're never going to come around to being healed. They're always going to look completely disgusting and completely inflamed and red and raw and just like that would hurt so much to touch. If it's just irritated now, that's going to turn into an infection before you know it. All of this information is so wrong. It's like people justifying why it's fine. This person would definitely be getting comments of people saying like, you shouldn't get this isn't okay, no one should ever get this piercing, no one should ever do this piercing. But you'll always have the person who wants to justify why it's a good idea, but it isn't. It's not a good idea. I mean, just look at that thing. It's not going well. 6 months isn't going to sort it out. Aside from the fact that she's touching it all the time, like that's going to irritate it so much. Literally any piercing that looks like that is going to be very, very difficult to get back to being healthy. Once your piercing starts looking like this, it's going downhill from there. Not saying it's impossible to get it to come back around and to be healthy and happy again, but especially with surface piercings, once they start looking like this, it's the end of it. Like it's over. It's over for you and your piercing. It's going, it's gone. Just like let it go and stop hanging on to it. We got the people whose jewelry is hanging on for dear life, and then we've got the people who are hanging on to their piercing for dear life, and both shouldn't be done. Let go of these things, guys. Like, what is your attachment to them? Watch some fucking Frozen, for God's sake. Like, this is ridiculous. Someone wrote that finger piercing looks so painful, and the creator wrote it's still healing, so it's very red, but it doesn't hurt as bad. As bad as what exactly? People are just pointing out the finger piercing because everyone knows it's not good. It doesn't look good. You can't leave it. That's where things can go very wrong and you could get very sick from this piercing. Let the bastard go, please. For me, for you, for everyone. And we've got another horizontal. I love how I'm like giving it a name to a piercing that shouldn't exist. It shouldn't have a name. If it were a piercing that was done, this is what it would be called. It would be called a horizontal finger piercing, because I mean, you'd have horizontal and then you'd have vertical. So like, it makes sense that that is what it would be called. That's the only reason I'm calling it this. I'm not calling it this because I'm like, cool, this is like a sick piercing you can get. It's not cool, it's sick. It's sick in the what way. Oh, no, well, and we're putting a curved bar in there. That isn't gonna work either. Oh no. Using a curved bar in a position like this, that bar might as well be rubbing on your bone. The way it divots in, nope. That's why something like the BioFlex would be better. I'm not saying to do it, but I'm just saying that if it were a thing, would be the best option because it is flexible and it can move, and this area moves so much. Like, it's just never going to work. But to put a curved bar in there, like, what are you thinking? That you're just going to put this person through so much pain that they don't need or deserve. And once again, this is another like body art page. Why? Why are all these so-called piercers promoting this god-awful piercing? I hate it so much. There's so much music on all of these because they're trying to hide the shame they feel behind doing these piercings. So we've got a wrist piercing here, which, I mean, it can be done, okay? Like, it's not the end of the world, but also it kind of is. This was done with a staple. It's a lot better to put dermals somewhere like that, but that wasn't a dermal because we went through. Some people have a lot of success with dermal piercings on their arms, on their wrist, but over time, most of them do start to migrate. They get irritated very easily and like flare up a lot because they get caught on things or ripped on things. Often it's just like what comes with having it in an area that it does get bumped and it does touch a lot of things. Like, it gets irritated very easily. But aside from that, a dermal is a lot better, and a dermal can be done. I mean, a surface piercing can be done as well. However, it's not going to work. I've never seen success with a surface piercing on an arm, on a wrist, all around this area. Just nope, 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 nope. I mean, for the most part, surface piercings aren't going to be successful as it is, let alone putting it in a place that is very prone to getting bumped, touched, tugged. It's just prone to failing. So in this sense, this piercing, although it isn't on the same level as something like a finger piercing where it's like, don't do that, what are you thinking, it's stupid. This is on the level where it's like, if you're going to be doing something like this, you are not doing it as a surface bar, you are doing it as a dermal. That is the only way that these should be done, are with dermals, because dermals can be successful in this area. This one isn't completely crazy, but it is one that shouldn't be done in this way, but done with dermals instead. And I mean, some people like to argue the point that things like finger piercings can be done with a dermal, but trust me, they cannot. It's the fact that you could be setting your client up to cause themselves harm with the piercing that you have given them, and that's why these piercings should be avoided. And I know people will argue that like, oh, I have one and it's always been great. It's the fact that there is so much risk with these piercings. I know there's risk with getting a lot of piercings ripped out, but these piercings just have a way higher risk factor, and you shouldn't be putting clients through that. That is why they aren't a piercing that is performed, is because they aren't safe and they are dangerous. So we don't do them. Basically, if someone is performing this piercing, they are willing to put you through danger. I'm not saying they're a terrible person. I'm just saying that I don't think they understand the risks of what comes with these types of piercings, because they're just performing them anyway and they shouldn't be. Oh. Absolutely not. That is fucking hideous. That is the grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. If you want a piercing to look like that, go for a rhino piercing. It basically looks the exact same, but on an area that it can be performed. Why? Why would you think this is a good idea? Imagine bumping your funny bone with that. Ugh. The amount of sickening feelings that provides me with is the end of my world, honestly. I don't want to put you through this, but think about how that would feel. It would be the most vile feeling you will ever experience. Like when you think about how gross it is to bump your elbow without a piercing there, imagine with. Not to mention, this isn't going to work. There is so much movement in that area. It's like right up against the bone. There really isn't a lot to grab onto, and it's going to feel honestly disgusting. You will feel it rub. Ugh. This is going to grind on your bone. It cannot be done. If you were to get this piercing, it would feel so disgustingly weird that you just do not want to get it. Why would you? Why? So no, in so many ways, no. Again, it'll get yanked on things, bumped, pushed, like it wouldn't heal. But even if you somehow miraculously got it to heal, it would reject immediately. There's just no way it would heal. It's not possible. There's too much movement. It's probably one of the most movie spots in your entire body, I reckon. More so than the fingers even, because they're sitting on like a flat part. This is, no, you can't put piercings somewhere with a lot of movement because they will just migrate. They want out. It doesn't work. Why do you think piercings go in certain spots? It's because they have an anchor that they can like securely sit in, rather than like getting moved, pushed, pulled all the time. Like, it will never heal, ever. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know which one down below gave you the ick. Please give me a like down below if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll be back very soon. Bye.